there are red flags that you might want to look out for. And today we want to concentrate on what are the red flags if you're dating somebody who is divorced.
Did you push record?
Thank you so much for joining us today on Second Act TV. I want to welcome Joni Caldwell, Lerner, back to Second Act, the motivational coach and life strategist. Joni, thanks for being here again.
Oh, it's always my pleasure. Let's strategize.
Well, yeah, let's. I want to talk to you about a topic that's been coming up lately on comments on our videos. Mm-hmm. And one that we did recently, is it a red flag if somebody has never been married? Now, we're over 50, starting over again, we're dating. And it's like, well, so if you're divorced, one or two times, that's better than never been married. And it was an interesting discussion, which led us to today's topic. And that is, just because you've never been married or just because you're divorced doesn't mean that you're a better candidate or not. It depends on the person that you are. However, there are red flags that you might want to look out for. And today we want to concentrate on what are the red flags if you're dating somebody who is divorced. And I want to throw the first one out to you, and I know you feel strongly about this: bad-mouthing your ex.
Oh, I do feel strongly about this. And I just want to validate or enforce what you said. Absolutely, there's nothing wrong with you if you've never been married. Hello, there's nothing wrong with anybody. Everybody's journey is completely their own. And we come here to learn what we come here to learn. And sometimes that's through relationships, and sometimes that's not through relationships. It is not about judging yourself or anybody else. Please, that's a huge red flag right there. Are they judging?
Right.
So yes, bad-mouthing the ex. And I've shared this story before, but he really made an impact on me. I was online dating and I met somebody at, Crate and Barrel or something like that for some tea. And the person, first of all, the body language was like, show me, and I'm like, okay, well, that's a good impression. And then he's like, well, should I pay for your tea? I'm like, oh, no, I'll pay for my own tea. And then he said something like, so are you resentful about being divorced? And I was like, whoa, thank you for the red flag. Thank you for the heads up, because now what he has told me is that he is resentful about his divorce. And then he launched into all the things he was resentful about. Yeah. So yeah, don't badmouth your ex.
No. Yeah, because honestly, I mean, it shows that you're not over. You're not done with this yet. You're not done with this, and you're not ready to date yet. It's a huge red flag.
Yeah, so they haven't done the work yet.
Exactly.
And they're going to then project whatever their resentments are onto you, most likely.
Yeah, exactly. The another one is just bad mouthing women in general or men in general. There's so many, and this happens on our comments all the time. People that, all women are this or all men are that. Big red flag.
Yes. And they're revealing what they have to work on or neutralize or heal in themselves. We all have a shadow side. We all have things that we have to heal. And a person can actually go through life and never do the work and never heal any of it. And that's fine too. Again, no judgment. But if you listen yourself, if you listen to what you're saying, you'll go, oh, if you have just a modicum of consciousness, you can begin to see where you need to heal. So yeah, absolutely. I'm really passionate about this one.
Yeah.
There is no all men and all women, this or that. All there is your experience.
Well, and what that says is that they're waiting for you to screw up. They're waiting to be proven right that all women or all men are like this. So yeah, it's if you're seeing this, it's not, move on. This is not a person that's ready to date again. The another one, and I'm big on this, refusing to take responsibility. It's the other person's fault.
Yeah, listen, so relationships are 50-50, only they're also 100-100. So there is no divorce anywhere that I've ever, a couple that I've worked with or anything I've ever seen where it's all one person or the other.
Right.
And I won't go into details, but it's just impossible. And if they're not willing to take responsibility for what their part was, they haven't fixed that or seen it, and they'll repeat that with you.
Exactly. I do want to say one thing. I want to take like abusive situations out of that.
Okay.
Let's clarify that, because that there is, you just get out of that, and that's not your responsibility. You don't even think about how you contributed to this if somebody's abusive. So let's take that one off the table. We're talking about just a normal divorce. If somebody, if it's always everybody else's fault or the other person's fault, that's almost a narcissistic tendency. Big red flag, right?
Yeah, yeah. And you make a really, really good point, because I in my heart, people, women, men, either one, who are abused, it is unacceptable. And what happens is they get so gaslighted that they begin to think it's their fault. So thank you for bringing that up. Really, really important point.
No, it is. I agree. Here's a good one. The forcing you to go incognito, not taking you around his social circles, friends, or family. Depending on how long, of course, you've been dating. But yeah, if this is going on.
I'm really glad you brought this up. I was super naive after 30 years, almost 30 years of marriage, going back on the market. People are very different. No, they're probably the same as they always were. But it was eye-opening to see that there are almost subcultures of there's public behavior, and then there are these subcultures, and then there are people who operate on completely different rules. And I dated somebody like that. He was an ex sheriff, and I wouldn't say like all sheriffs anything, but it just was interesting because he knew how to sneak around. And the picture that was the first red flag. It was we had dark glasses, and it was from 15 years ago, and you couldn't tell who it was. And then he supposedly lived a couple blocks from his wife. Anyway, I'm going on and on. But the point is, the point is, no, be proud of that person. Now, if you have small children, Silka, and you don't want to bring a person that you're dating into the situation too early, absolutely agreed. Absolutely.
Right.
But if they don't want you to meet your friends or your family,
yeah, there's a time to do that, and what that time is. And if you're being hidden, or you feel like you're being hidden, you have a right and to be concerned and to question that. That being said,
yes,
someone who is insisting too soon to bring you around, that's a red flag, because there might be looking to replace you, and you're never going to live up to that expectation, is my opinion.
Right. And I think the term is rebound.
Yeah.
In that case, yeah, right. So what they want is a partner. They want their old life back. They want the dynamic of being a partner, so yes, I didn't realize when again, dating, they would ask me, how long have you been divorced? And I'd say a few months, and they'd say, well, have a great, good luck with dating, because they had been dating for a while, and they knew, I'm in this place where I don't know what I want. I don't know who I am. I don't know what's going on. And they're just happy to date. And I guess the most important, and you and I have talked about it before, is be authentic and say what you want, ask for what you want, and tell the truth, and expect that of other people, but also with an eye of,
Yeah, exactly. The other point here that leads into that, or builds into that, is if somebody is consistently or constantly saying that they don't deserve you, that is a kind of a strange red flag, because it seems like they're building you up or putting you on a pedestal. But if it keeps happening and happening, and you constantly have to tell them, about your feelings, like, no, why do you feel like that?
yeah,
That's something to think about, right?
There are a couple of things that brings up for me. One is there's a self-esteem issue, and again, some work to do there. But if you're constantly they're looking for validation outside of themselves. So they don't have it within. That's a red flag right there. And the other thing that might be going on is perhaps they have done something in their relationship. Maybe they had an affair, or maybe they know what their foibles are, and maybe they have a huge temper. I don't know what it's going to be. But if he's saying, I don't deserve you, then eventually whatever that is going to come to surface.
Mm-hmm. So believe him or hear him. Believe
yeah,
them. Yeah.
yeah, right. Maya Angelou. They'll tell you who they are. Believe them the first time.
Yeah, no, interesting. Something interesting to think about. The one last one, and then we'll wrap this up. Punishing you for the mistakes of their ex. Now, this would evolve more as you get into a relationship. Maybe not an immediate red flag, but bringing the too much baggage into the relationship to where anything you do is equated with what has happened in the past. We've talked about this on other segments. I think this is really interesting and important.
Listen, I mean, honestly, the most unattractive thing about any human being to me, male, female, friend, date, whatever it is that they are living in the past. They're living in negativity. They're living in resentment. Because I'll tell you, if you're resenting anybody, I don't care who it is, you are taking the poison. You think you're punishing them somehow by hating them for something they said to you 10 years ago. You're taking the poison every single day. So, oh my God, please find a way to let go of the baggage. Seriously, if you haven't lived free of that, imagine a bird soaring. That's what I want for you, whoever you are.
The interesting thing about this is that I can sort of identify with that. This is something I really had to work on because I came out of a marriage where he cheated on me. And there was, instances and behaviors that I knew, he was out screwing around.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it. And then now moving into a new relationship that this is something I had to work on in just the past does not equal the present. Not blaming or thinking that, because my ex did this is the same behavior. So I get it, but I worked on it. I got over it.
Yeah,
but it is something that's difficult to overcome sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. And full disclosure, at 28 years old, my fiance, who then became my husband, he said, stop punishing me for what your father did and my ex who screwed around on me. So my father was a philanderer. And as children, as female children, we take that personally, like somehow we weren't enough, that he did this and then he left at 11. I mean, it's like blah blah blah, but it's just, at this point it's just like it's just a story. But at the time, he had the presence of mind to say, stop, I'm not them. I went,
yeah,
oh my God.
Yeah, good for him.
You're right, and I'm sorry, and it changed our relationship and our marriage.
Yeah, and that's something like that has to happen. And if it doesn't, if you're experiencing this, yes, you need to come to the come to Jesus or whatever, hit that, talk about it, and then get over it, because it will kill your relationship if you keep playing the old tapes. Interesting topic, Joni. So many people, so many of us are in that position because we're at this age, we're starting over. You're gonna, if you're out dating, if you're looking for love, you're likely to be, dating somebody who is divorced. So good tips. I think, if you have others, I'd love to hear comments and questions. If it's something that we didn't cover, Joni, anything else that comes to your mind?
Well, I was just going to say, we are living longer than we've ever lived in our lives. We're being married longer than we've ever been in our lives. It is not a failure if the contract ends, if it's not working. 'Cause sometimes one person grows, and the other one doesn't, or whatever the reason, whether it's a negative thing that happened. This is not failure. If you wake up in the morning, you have won. That is a good day. That's all I'm saying. So stop judging you or anybody else, period, about anything.
Well, we just want everybody to find that love they're looking for, and hopefully we're able to help you on that journey and offer some advice and share some of our experience. And we thank you for watching. And Joni, thank you so much. We'll see you next time on Second Act TV.
See you then.
If you haven't done so already, please be sure to subscribe to our channel. The button is right here. Just click on through to YouTube, and when you see the little bell right next to the subscribe button, hit that too, and we'll notify you every time we launch a new video. See you next time.